Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Paladins fans around the world. Welcome to the 1.3 Update Show. My name is Randy, and I'm joined by all of your favorite community members and faces. It's Hi-Rez Alyssa, it's Thunderbrush, and it's, of course, Hi-Rez Martini.
What up, guys?
Back from vacation. Both of you and I went on vacation.
Yes, we did.
You feeling good?
Back to the Golden State.
That Golden State, baby.
That's the first vacation Garrett's taken in like 3 years.
Yeah, right?
What a slacker.
And what a slacker. Come on, man. Well, we've got so much going for you guys today. Honestly, we've got a new TDM map. We've got bug fixes, balance updates. We've got a new Battle Pass update and a new champion. So we'll get into all of that, of course, soon. But I wanted to talk first about the ranked reset and split rewards, because we do have that adjusting. We will be doing a soft reset, Garrett, for ranked, and walk us through what that is. Some people aren't really familiar with soft resets, hard resets.
So when we go to a new split, our yearly seasons are divided into splits, and when a new split comes around, this is kind of a moment for you, if you haven't jumped in, are kind of a little nervous. It gives you a moment to kind of like get your feet wet and come into the competitive experience, which is what Paladins at its core is sometimes all about. So what a soft reset is a relative reduction of everyone's kind of matchmaking statistics in regards to it. Basically, it's like a overall lowering, while there's still a difference between like very new players and then very experienced players. Instead of a hard reset, which is what we do like at the beginning of a season, when everyone just gets leveled to 0, a soft reset still keeps some differences after the reduction is applied.
Great. So, I mean, this is a great time to start playing ranked, right? Because also, if you haven't played this season, there are rewards you're going to be able to earn.
Yep.
And you can earn double rewards, basically, if you play now and then right when next season starts
Like
after
gold
this patch.
chests, announcer packs, there's a lot of stuff for you.
And speaking of that, we recorded one of the more requested community announcer packs in the history of Paladins. It's the Vox announcer pack coming to Paladins.
Yes.
and it's in the basically 25 games. You win that, you get the Vox announcer pack.
Yeah, play 10 games, you get a gold chest, play 25, or win 25, sorry, and you get the Vox announcer pack.
Well, you know what? I could do my own Jaguar Foles impression, but I think it's better to hear from the man, the myth, the legend himself. Let's take a listen to the Vox announcer pack.
Customize your champion. Make him pretty. Defeat. Well, I'm not one to judge. An ally has been slain. Try not to be next. Immortal. Pentakill. Enemy quadra kill.
He was incredulous on that last one.
Yeah.
Enemy quadra kill.
What's happening?
Oh, that's the top 5 voice right there. If you want a top 5 video constantly playing every single moment of the day while you're playing Paladins, get the Vox announcer pack. It's awesome. I'll be using that as well when it comes out. And we also, because we are such a community big around the world, we're not just here in the United States, you guys have decided to put on something cool for announcer packs for every single language.
Yeah, these have been really highly requested for a long time. So these are localized announcer packs that you can purchase for 25,000 gold. We have them in Spanish, German, French, Portuguese, and Russian.
That's super amazing.
Yeah, now you can get your games announced in your local language.
Your own local language, and again, another thing to spend gold on as well, which is always great. If you have some some extra gold, you could definitely use this and just get a little bit more of a home feel, especially when you're playing the game that you love and you play at home, even though it may not be, our home, because that's in Georgia. If you didn't realize that. The match invite system. Now, this is a big thing that's coming up, guys, and we're getting through these general fixes before we go into the content. The thing is, I've always wanted in Paladins.
It matters.
Remember when you're making a
matters.
deck, and every time you're about to confirm, the match queue pops up, and then you have to give up that deck you're about to take into ranked. Well, no longer is that a thing. You can now do something after you accept your match queue until the actual queue begins, and everyone gets put into the lobby. So there's a huge
a couple more seconds to just put that name in and get that 1 point here, 1 point out of here, and you're good to go.
That is so huge. It is going to be a game changer
awesome,
right there.
man.
Yes.
It's the joke that if you want to get into a ranked queue, just start making a deck, because then the ranked queue will pop.
It's no joke.
Without a doubt before
That's how
you
the
make your
algorithm
deck.
works, guys.
That's how it works. We've also got some queue updates that I think people will be happy for. I'll read them off. Team Deathmatch and Onslaught game modes are getting different queues, so that's been a big ask from the community as well. People have been excited about that. And multi-queue is back, so you'll be able to queue multiple things. One of the awesome aspects about the new map rotation for Team Deathmatch as well is there are going to be some new maps: Abyss, Snowfall Junction, and Trade District. Jumping into that, as you see a little bit of the visuals of what multi-queue will look like, and a new map rotation for Onslaught, Magistrate's Archive, Foreman's Rise, and Primal Court. So all that adjusted into the queues and the maps Should be a fun time if you like TDM and deathmatch.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we also have some bug fixes, and these are, to preface, a few. These are the highlighted ones. We have a ton of bug fixes every single patch that we put in through Paladins. The design team is very, very coherent on basically finding the things that irk the community the most or maybe disrupt gameplay the most. And the team that works on fixing these bugs works tirelessly. But we wanted to highlight a few that have been adjusted here. Some audio fixes for characters that are mainstays in the game, like Maldama's Mending Spirits, Drogos' Booster, as well as Strix's Footsteps. Those have all been adjusted so you can hear them a little bit better. And I know that's a
lots
big
of
ask.
audio fixes in this patch.
And then also we have a couple things with Furia, Garrett, that you had maybe highlighted yourself.
Absolutely. So we discovered a bug after it's being released where the Wings of Wrath projectiles were actually tracking people through walls and just like moving through walls, which is always, a little OP. So that's going to be attended to, in addition to her Pyre Strike beam not actually rendering in some cases on low settings. So we've sorted that out. So it should be a little bit nicer of an experience when combating the Angel of Vengeance.
Yes.
That's super awesome. Well, obviously, Fury has been the talk of the town. May not be this next patch, as we'll get into the content in just a little bit. But again, more balance and bug fixes coming soon in the patch notes when they show up online. This is just a few we wanted to highlight for you all. But again, the endless bug search and fix continues here at High Res Studios. The new TDM map. Finally, getting some new content. Great.
The shiny.
Thunderbrush. Sorry, I broke the golden rule there. I want to talk to you about this because we finally have a new asset for TDM. It's called Abyss. So walk us through, what could that possibly be referencing?
A place we may or may not have been to before that has to do with some other otherworldly events, which has been really awesome to have kind of come to the realm. So we wanted to make sure we had a map that might take place sometime after Fury has smited the current Lord of the Abyss.
Wow. So this is super cool. And this will be in the Team Deathmatch queue.
Yes.
And now that the queues are split, you'll be able to just pick TDM and play this map right away.
TDM, I can
Which
see.
I would definitely recommend because it's pretty freaking cool.
The environment team just knocked this out of the park. Just really great stuff all around.
Such a feel.
Look at that. It's so the atmosphere,
yeah,
right?
the atmosphere there, the ambiance, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's incredible the way that takes you to a different place in Paladins than you had it. And it's really awesome to, because that was such a big event with the jumping puzzle and Furia and the Abyss. And I think it's really cool that that's now cemented in the game in some way. And you guys can see some gameplay of what it looks like to be playing on the Abyss map with the Demonette Maeve as well. So, Garrett, there's not just visually this cool ambiance. There's actually a distinct difference in the way the gameplay plays on this map.
120%, Evan. So we have a very core classic TDM experience in Trade District. So with this Abyss map, what we did is we wanted to evolve. We wanted to progress. So what we've done is we've taken elements from specifically the Rise of Fury event and integrated that into the TDM gameplay. So not only do you get jump pads in this mode, but you're also going to get buffs, like player power-ups in this mode that you may remember actually from the Rise of Furia. Those like kind of twin circles that give you like 7% ult charge.
Right.
They're also going to buff your character in here. The difference in TDM is that the buff has to be far stronger to matter. So we just, we did the classic dry bear double up.
This is the dry bear quadra up, basically.
Quinta up? Yeah. It's a lot of ups. There are two Rise of Furia buffs that spawn periodically throughout this map at different locations, and they will give you 100% ultimate charge.
Wow.
That's right.
So
you can
ult reset.
Yes, you can ult, take 2 steps to your left, pick up the buff, and then ult again. For some characters, this is insane, and it really creates some kind of emergent gameplay as you are treating these as kind of like semi-objectives, right? In a TDM mode, while still like doing that circular flow that it's so famous for.
That's super cool.
I will say we had some really intense play tests on this map, so I'm excited to see what the players think of it and to see your guys' plays on this map. It's a total blast.
It's a ton of fun.
It seems like it's gonna be really fun to watch as well. So things streamers can use to just kind of play, chill out for a little bit, but also give a totally fun experience for people to watch, especially fighting over those power-ups. I think that's gonna create some great moments for everybody as we continue taking a look here just at the new map. And let's talk about as well the throne, the top part. That map actually not going to be a new map in terms of your normal queues, but is going to be available for custom games. So talk to us about that and the reasoning why you're allowing that as a custom game map.
Sure. So if you guys remember, this is the top of the Spire in the Rise of Fury event. And we created this play space for a very fast-paced, close quarters, impending doom kind of combat space. Unfortunately, it's not really large enough to work for a mainstay queue, but we built this and we're we wanted to give you guys the means to go play it. If you want to maybe run some 1v1 tournaments, some 2v2 tournaments, that smaller scale is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Seems really fun. Again, available in custom games as well. So that should be really exciting for those who are interested in maybe running some tournaments. Paladins World guys, they do those 1v1s all the time. And that's it for the current part of the content. Of course, we've got Koga coming up in just a bit, as well as some Battle Pass stuff. But before that, let's get into the balance and esports section. Here we've got Kevin and Gabby on the desk to break it all down for us.
Thanks, Evan. As was said, it's Kevin and Gabby here with your balance and esports section. And first of all, I want to know, what are your thoughts on that map? It looks pretty sick, doesn't it?
I'm so excited. It's really cool because we were able to introduce kind of new gameplay mechanics into our team deathmatch game, which obviously I think Rafe and Garrett mentioned that, pulling from that Rise of Fury event. So the jump pads and then the ultimate charge. And I think those gameplay mechanics are super fun, create a new dynamic within Paladins, and probably something that you'll be seeing in future maps as well.
Cool. Well, whatever mode you end up playing in the game, let's find out some of the changes to the champions themselves. Starting off with Buck for balance, the shotgun has actually had a change. Reduced first shell reload from 0.7 seconds to 0.4 seconds, as well as an increased post-reload time of 0.17 to 0.47.
Yeah, so this is just mostly a feel thing when it comes to the shotgun. Buck's, it will have a little bit of gameplay implications. Words are hard sometimes.
They are.
But right now, when he reloads, it's very fast, and he kind of just shoves all of the shells into his shotgun. This is going to make it more smooth. I think it'll be better looking visually for players of Buck. The gameplay implications are the fact that his first shell reload time was, I believe, 0.75 at first, and the remaining shells kind of loaded in really fast after that. When you're kind of jumped on now with this increased post-reload time, it'll be a fraction of a second longer before you can get that shot off, but you're more likely to have additional ammo in your clip for follow-up shots after that. Very minor, mostly focused on feels, but some high-end kind of thinking to do with that.
Also, I'm stoked to see how the players respond to that, because there are a lot that favor Buck. And he actually got a change to his talent and snare as well. So damage bonus on targets hits now last 2 seconds, regardless of slow duration.
Yeah, and snare is an interesting talent. Unfortunately, there was a lot of ways, if you were not the Buck player, to counter that. Anything that reduced CC, such as resilience, which almost made this talent useless. That's not what we want to happen when it comes with talents. We always want it to be a benefit to the player that's going to have some impact on the game and not be able to be instantly countered. So this is just going to tag very much like the Pip talent. So players will get an increased damage for 2-second duration on the target hit, which means they'll be able to get either 2 or 3, depending on their fire rate, extra shots in with that bonus damage, which is going to be pretty big, we think.
And then a couple card changes as well for Buck. First one, Rapid Sustain. Reduced increased healing from 10% to 5%, so a little chop halfway down there.
Halfway down. So this and the next card with Buck are kind of interesting. So right now, bulk up is very strong for Buck, and we know that. And into our next patch 1.4, we're going to be looking at a lot of mid-season changes, mostly specific around talents. So this first hit is to really get bulk up in line, and then look at adjusting it again with the follow-up patch. A lot of characters that have this card, the Rapid Sustain card, where it's improved self-healing, don't really have a option to heal themselves. It's more like it's very beneficial when a healer is aiding you. Unfortunately, this just kind of created this perfect storm for Buck, where he was able to get too much healing, sometimes upwards of 2,000 with bulk up when he pressed recovery, and that was a little bit too strong for a flank, and a lot of frustration around that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And as you mentioned, both of the card changes have to do with that durability of him. So deep breath, reduced damage reduction, scaling from 8% 8% to 6%, just a little smidgen, and the length from 3 seconds to 2 seconds.
Yeah, damage reduction is definitely something, a game mechanic we're looking at within Paladins. The big dynamic with it is it's hard to get feedback visually for it because we don't want to spam the game with a ton of effects. So we don't want to give this instantaneous, like, oh, I know he's being reduced by damage. It creates a lot of visual clutter. So we're trying to keep the damage reduction to a minimum, both duration-wise and effectiveness. We've, I believe, made changes to Ruckus, and we're slowly kind of tweaking it and looking to where we can get a good spot where players can use damage reduction cards and game mechanics in a healthy manner without it being kind of an annoyance on the other side.
Cool. So Buck the Beautiful getting a little change here and there. You can try that out in game. But Drogos also getting some changes to the talent Fusillade, actually reducing bonus damage from 35% to 25%.
Yeah, a couple patches ago we changed the projectile speed of rocket launcher. This was a feels change for Drogos. We really like how it landed. We think it's a better gameplay mechanic and feel for him. Obviously, this means Fusillade is a lot easier to hit those direct damage shots, so we reduced it to bring it a little bit more in line with his other talents.
And second talent also getting a change is Reign of Terror. No longer increases the damage of Salvo, now reduces the cooldown instead by 5 seconds.
Yeah, so Salvo is actually a really fun ability, we think. Unfortunately, it's a 20-second cooldown, which is one of the longest in the games. Is it? It may be the longest. I think it is.
20 seconds feels like forever.
It's forever in Paladins. So now it's just going to have a new effect where you're going to be able to use it more frequently. And obviously with mid-season coming up, we'll further take a look at this for next patch.
And a lot of people have been picking him up again over time, so stoked to see that as well. Furia, the talk of the town as of late.
Yes.
Lots of fun to play.
The Angel of Vengeance.
Oh, she's great.
I spam her.
She's same. I think a lot of
So
people
good.
are on that page. But she's only getting one change, but it's a pretty big change to one of her talents with Cherish, reducing the bonus healing from 50% to 25%, so also a halving there.
Yeah, we're very happy with Furia's release, the balanced state she's at. We're seeing, especially over time, as players learn how to deal mostly with Pyre Strike, which is this really new feature inside Paladins. Now that they're learning to not run into the beam and how dangerous it can be, we're starting to see players able to counter her a little bit better. One standout thing for her was her talent on Cherish. It was her most effective talent by far. So we're just bringing that a little bit in line. She has a lot of ways to get healing out. And so we just wanted to make sure that the effectiveness of this talent didn't outweigh kind of the other potential benefits of her remaining talents.
And she's actually going to be available in competitive play soon, too.
So
we'll
at the LAN, right?
How the,
Super
at the LAN's
excited.
coming up. So
Yeah, something to note, too. For mid-season 1.4, we're going to be further looking at talents across all champions, both mostly looking normalized. So some champions will see a reduction in kind of their really strong talents. Some will see just a rise in some of their lower play talents. We're looking for a couple reworks, but no promises on how many that'll be. And, of course, looking at some cards as well.
a lot to look forward to on the balance side. And actually, Kevin did just mention that we do have LANs coming up. So a couple things on the esports end. LANs do kick off starting on the 18th with the PPL finals, then the summer finals, and the console wars happening the following weekend. And we do have a new viewer experience that we'll be rolling out as well that we'll elaborate upon during Esports Weekly on Monday. And last note, when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, while we are very excited about the idea of adding Paladins on the Nintendo Switch to the console series, we have no current plans to roll that out at this time. Because the platform is fairly new, we want to give it some time to develop its own player base so that we can reliably support that competitive community. But that's everything we have on the balance in the esports end. Now, I know I want to learn a little bit about the Battle Pass, so let's go throw it back to Evan and friends over in the casual set.
Thanks, Gabby and Kevin. Great job on the desk, and great to see the updates coming through. I'm sure a lot of people are happy. Maybe Drogo's got a little bit of a tune there, very needed as well. We have Koga coming up. Do not worry, do not fret. He is right after this. But before that, we have something that's just as good, in my opinion. It's the beautiful cosmetics that we're adding in the brand new Battle Pass. The update to the Battle Pass, the new season is here, and I want to talk to you guys about what the structure has, how the structure has changed and morphed a little bit, and then obviously show everybody what we've got in store for those who decide to participate.
Absolutely. We are very excited to kind of talk to you guys about it. So we implemented our first iteration
Yeah.
of Battle Pass 1 with the skins there, the challenges there. We've learned some good lessons. We're really pleased with the response. The audience was voraciously eating it up, and we're like, okay, so we have to evolve. We have to excel then for the next one, and then even for the next one, we're already planning on it. However, this one we're talking about right now, we've kind of upped our game. So structurally, it's very similar to what you've experienced before, with a couple differences. So we kind of got a lot of feedback that it felt like a little bit too grindy. So what we've done is actually, this battle pass is actually longer in duration than our previous one. However, we've actually reduced the amount of experience it's going to take to complete it. So what these variables combine for is you are going to be flying through your battle pass progression. It's going to feel really good to be unlocking things left and right, and just play Paladins as a whole. Whether you're a paid player or a free player, kind of getting invested in the battle pass system is what you're going to want to do.
It's like your teacher says you got an essay due on Friday, but actually it's due next Friday, and instead of 3 pages, it's 2 pages, right? You're like, oh yes, baby, because I was not close to finishing. That's exactly what happened.
XP
Okay, I like
grind
it.
has been reduced by almost 25%.
25%.
So it's quite a bit.
That's great. All right. Well, that's beautiful. So, I mean, there are all these other cool things as well added, like challenges. And, I mean, give me an example of some challenges, guys. Like, what would a challenge be?
So challenges this battle pass we approached with a little bit more of a fine-tooth granular approach. Very champion specific, very kind of sometimes hard to do. We wanted to challenge our players in new and exciting ways, whereas our last battle pass being that, because the first battle pass was more of a proof of concept for the system as a whole. So the challenges you saw there were a little bit more generic, a little bit more like your daily quests, right? These challenges were like, okay, specifically like kill 3 players at once through space and time. Or
in Smite?
Okay, well, wait, what's that?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Through time and space, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Or kill 5 players with your cannon after pulling them with a dredge anchor. So as you can see, these examples kind of lead for a little bit more of a champion-specific game, like a very discrete gameplay moment that you're going to try and recreate. And I think it's going to be very engaging.
Alyssa,
it can be tricky.
What's this one? Heal an ally, become a snake, and
Become a
fear an
snake.
enemy within 5 seconds?
I'm pretty sure that's Maldon though, right? Slither?
Could
maybe?
be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's presented as a little bit as a puzzle.
I want to see it.
Don't take that literally, guys. It's like, how do I become a snake? I have no
Sneaky
idea.
snake.
It's the secret
Snake is
ability.
Exactly. This is impossible. I can't become, and then there's also, like you said, maybe some ones that aren't listed.
That's right. So there are these kind of puzzle ones that we've presented to you that are easily readable, and there may even be some secret ones for you to unlock and engage with.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Also, Alyssa, they've been, this is something we've been wanting and we've had, and it's gone away, but I'm hearing it's coming back, esports picking.
Yeah, so we're going to have esports picking. We've totally redone the system in this battle pass. So we did it for PPL picking previously. We've got the LAN next week, so the LAN won't be included in the esports picking this time, but in all the future tournaments, you'll be able to pick those matches ahead of time.
Super awesome. I mean, that's amazing. I'm glad we're finally getting some esports back into the Paladins game. And of course, besides all that, we're getting a brand new kind of refresh, Thunderbrush, that I'll go for you for the initial unlock of this new season. Now, it comes with a mount that I've been corrected on as far as my, explanation of what type of dragon it is. Okay, it's not a wyvern, it's not a dragon, it's a crimson serpent.
Crimson serpent,
That's right.
indeed.
Mounts. And holy moly.
Boom.
Does that thing have a tail?
Oh,
There
it's a
is a
wiggle
tail.
tail.
Oh my God, it's a wiggle.
Big old tail.
It is
Wow.
a big tail.
Tail lovers.
People do
Enjoy.
love tails. Look at that. Look at that little tail.
Yeah.
Big tail.
Big tail.
This looks crazy.
That face is so mean, dude.
This is actually the first time I've seen this.
Rounding
This
a
is insane.
corner, and seeing that bearing down on you, you're like,
yeah.
oh god, oh god.
What happened to his does he just goes on the two, how does he float?
This is a magic dragon.
Okay.
He's
I was gonna
actually
say. Okay.
grabbing along the ground.
He's actually got really small wings underneath the saddle. They're just really small.
It's a different
flutter,
breed of
keep him
dragon.
up.
If you're a cool enough
serpent
dragon,
in the realm. Yeah.
You don't need wings.
Oh my God, that is so dope.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Holy moly. So this is, oh my God,
The
the fire trails
VFX for
as
this
well.
mount, I love them so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's got this really animated Eastern feel.
Yo, are flying mounts coming to Paladins ever? Can we just fly mounts? For the first 3 seconds, they fly. First 3 seconds.
We'll see.
No
Evan. We'll see
spoilers.
what happens. We'll see
No
what happens. But if you're playing a character or a skin with a tail, and then you have both tails line up,
So
and they
many
just
tails.
wiggle in tandem.
Is there synergy on the tail
Oh
wiggle?
god, there's so much tail synergy.
Oh my
dude.
god.
You have no
That's
idea.
that's so amazing.
And this
The
is
tail
an
meta is
instant
real.
unlock for the battle pass. So as soon as you
Right.
get it, you get this mount.
So as soon as you basically buy in with crystals to the battle pass, that is yours, as well as a loading frame and an avatar.
That's right.
So
The loading frame is sick. Too.
yeah, and Thunderbrush,
loading.
talk to us about kind of the style of why you chose this Crimson Serpent,
Yeah.
why you chose the loading frame, and how
Yeah.
these aesthetics play into this battle pass season.
Well, we really wanted to tie everything together around our new champ and our new skins and making it feel like it comes from a very consistent part of the realm itself and kind of a new world we might not got to explore a whole lot of yet.
Well, let's take a look at the avatar as well, because that is something that is going to be unlocked as well. The Shadow Blade, and again, a moving avatar.
Look at
Oh,
those
yeah,
other
animated
avatars you see there.
This is very
is that?
ninja-like.
Yeah, for
avatar.
sure.
Ninja, perhaps.
And these
Okay.
items are all limited.
Okay.
So you can only get them in the second battle pass. They'll never be available again afterwards.
Limited.
Limited.
Never acquirable again.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually know what limited means. In in high-res terminology, limited does mean you can never get it again. That's like the rarest possible thing to get. So just to know that as well. We've also got an adjustment to the way emotes can be used in-game and how many you can use and bring to the game called the emote wheel. Can
Cosmetic wheel. Right?
Cosmetic wheel.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
So
We got you.
we've also got, let's take a look at the loading frame before we get into that,
Yep.
but I'll prep
Let's
you
do
on
it.
being able to talk about the cosmetic wheel coming up.
Look at that. Look at the spinning blades. And the
you
cross
get-
swords.
So much ninja action.
So much ninja act. No, not too much ninja. You can never have too
Never
much
know.
ninja. So let's talk about the cosmetic wheel.
Shindaru.
Let's talk about the cosmetic wheel and what does that actually do? How does that play into?
So with the battle pass, we are introducing a bunch of new emotes and sprays into
Yeah.
the game. And what better way to then kind of just exponentially increase the value of that by allowing you to bring more of your sprays and emotes into the match. So what we've done is our engineers have put together this new emote wheel functionality that allows for a couple of really cool things in the cosmetic wheel. Excuse me. On your left-hand side, you can have up to 4 different sprays in the game. On the right-hand side, you can have up to 4 different emotes. So if you want to laugh at someone right here, but at the same time you want to perhaps salsa dance, then like you can react to different situations.
I mean,
however
when the
you so
occasion
choose.
calls for it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And then the top option there is your weapon inspect. The bottom option is a new feature called Mountain Spawn Room. So if you don't want to wait for kind of the round to start, you can jump on your new dragon Crimson
Absolutely.
Serpent and show it off in front of everyone.
We're scared.
Absolutely.
And you can get these extra slots with gold purchases.
Absolutely. So this is obviously our community is always asking like, guys, we need a gold
we
snake.
do
I've
with
got all
gold?
this gold. So what we've done is we've introduced these slots. Everyone gets 1 spray and 1 base emote initially. However, you have the option to then purchase the consecutive, and it scales. I think it's like 50K, 100K, 150K.
Okay.
For the number 2, number 3, number
So
4.
slots.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. If you played any MMOs, you kind of understand what that's
Exactly.
like. Bank
Yeah.
slots,
Inventory.
Right.
Oh, God.
inventory.
Yep.
You know what we're talking about. So that's what you get to do. Now we've got 2 emotes coming in, as you mentioned, that you could probably put on that cosmetic wheel.
yeah.
The first one is for Fernando.
This one's so
and
good.
You got to say that it's pretty hot.
So hot.
Do it. Do it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go surfing now. Everybody's
So
learning
Thunderbrush,
how.
does
Come
this work on any
safari.
shield you have equipped? Like if you get the gingerbread shield, are you surfing on the
Oh
gingerbread?
my god, I didn't even think of that.
Why not?
Why
Oh
not?
my god, this is super cool. That's amazing. So this is a roaming emote as well, and we also have another emote coming through, which is a legendary emote for our boy Zen. So it's kind of like the Fire, brothers here.
Fire Bros.
Fire Bros.
Yeah, this one is an infinitely looping one. So you can like post up on the payload and just
Oh,
loop this.
edgy boy.
That's right. I mean, 'cause, like unfortunately we didn't have a skin for him in the battle pass itself,
Yeah.
but he's directly tied to the backstory of Koga.
Yes.
So like we want to do something special for him. Let's hit him with a legendary emote, and this one is just the infinite loop. Just I think it's called Sulk. So appropriately named.
What a.
I guess you could
Like,
call him
sit in
an
the corner
edge.
and,
Why is he
lord.
sulking? He's the leader of a whole.
Edgelord, because his blades have edges,
guild.
right?
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
life will never be good enough. For
We should have a death stamp as well available, which should be the second death stamp, I think, in Paladins. So you'll see that there, and it is a. Is that
Boom.
a
It's a scorpion.
Scorpion?
That's a scorpion.
A ninja
That is
goodness.
right. The ninja scorpion.
Scorpion.
Ninjas and scorpions go hand in hand.
And there was the bird
you
actually
don't know.
next to it. So I've never seen a scorpion take down like a full.
Yeah.
Circle
What is
of
Cassie's
life.
bird? An eagle?
Well, it might be a dragon.
It's a Ziggs.
Well, sometimes death
It's a
can.
Ziggs. We'll go with that as the official lore. Let's take a look also the 3D spray that will be introduced in this season as well. Talk a little bit about that. And boy, oh boy, is that a Paladins crystal midair?
Oh, that's so
That is
cool.
a Paladins crystal midair. So this is a new style of cosmetic. Again, with the new battle pass, we want to bring new things to offer to our players, and it functions just like a spray, so you can do it at any time. Oh, also, by the way, guys, we reduced the spray cooldown from 5 seconds to 1, so you can embrace your inner BM and just spam those things, because now you have 4 of them, and one of them appears in the air above your head. So the Paladins crystal is our first iteration of it, and we're gonna see some cool stuff in the future using that medium.
Not gonna lie, you're gonna see some cool stuff right now. We've got another Dragonfire animated spray here, so let's take a look at what this one is. And of course, you can see the furnace. It almost feels like of the mouth, kind of just lighting up. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to pay some careful attention to that, but when you do, it's
Are we getting a theme? Because I just realized the Abyss one is like the same like
They're
Drogo's.
similar.
So all of our events are just going to be like spooky faces yelling at the players.
Thunderbrush,
here
can you
for it.
elaborate on this?
You know, what's wrong with the spooky face? They're
Nothing.
always good.
Nothing.
Nothing is wrong.
Always
Nothing
good.
really.
And one thing about the
all about
cosmetic
personality.
wheel, like this idea first came from a player like a year and a half ago, or maybe even 2 years ago. Someone messaged me and said, you know, it would be really cool, an emote wheel. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. So we talked
It is
about it
cool.
in our meeting. And so if you're watching, this is for you. We finally
Wow, that's a pretty cool story.
did it. Yeah.
I love that. You know, Hi-Rez, this is one of the only companies I know of that will actually happen. Like, those are common stories, so to speak.
yeah.
Really cool stuff. And before we get into another announcer pack that we have, I want to talk about a couple of the community avatars that will actually be going into this as well, which is really exciting, Alyssa, because this is, again, something that fans created that's now in the game.
Right, so we did a community avatar contest when we launched Paladins, and we had 4 winners, and 2 of those are going to be going into this battle pass, and then 2 are going to be in the 3rd battle pass. And the best thing of all, these are all part of the free track. So a lot of feedback we got was that players wanted more opportunities to earn things in the free track, so that's something we really focused on for this battle pass. So I think we might have a video of it, but it's the little Chibi Zin one, which is kind of fitting for this patch, and then the animated blinking Maeve one.
Well, congratulations as well. I don't know if we have the. Oh yeah, it's Bella and then Freaksy. So congratulations, Bella and Freaksy.
And thank you.
That is a huge deal.
Awesome
really
work.
cool stuff for your portfolio as well. So just awesome job. And again, we are not done, but we are very close to being done. Before we get into the actual skins that will be introduced, we've got another thing on the free track that is a huge community ask. We love this guy. We met this guy here when he came to Spring Fling. The Faye Razzle announcer pack is now going to be available.
The man with the voice.
Yeah, it was one of our donation goals for the Spring Fling. If we raised so much money, we would record a Faye Razzle announcer pack, and so he recorded one while he was here, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, we actually get a chance to listen to it right now, so let's hear a little bit of what Faye recorded while he was in Atlanta.
An enemy is savage. Imagine that. Annihilation!
Whoa.
Defense successful. Good job, brothers. It's showtime. Legendary. Oh, Quadra.
Ooh. I like the takes of the quadra kills.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
goes their little different route. Vox is skeptical. Faye's like trying to take you out to dinner with this quadra kill. Oh, quadra kill at 8 p.m. at Mastro's, please. I love it. I think it's great, and this is on the free track as well for the Battle Pass, so make sure you guys check that out. Again, it's basically longer and easier to do, so you have so many opportunities to get this. But now let's get into the meat of the cosmetics, although those, how can that not be? That would be a normal patch.
You said
cosmetics.
because the first one is beefy.
It's beefy. It is beefy. It's all the protein you need for sure. And it's going to be our Akuma Makoa skin here in the
Look at
Battle
that.
Pass.
So awesome.
That's a raid boss right there.
Probably. I mean, top five, I think, splash art. I've
Yeah,
seen.
Casey crushed it on this.
Woo!
Shout out to Casey.
Yeah.
Now, let's listen to the voice pack as well and get a little bit of a look at this Akuma Makoa skin.
My name is Makoa, the Master of Death. Offer up your soul if you wish to fight. Come at me if you dare. I take on all challengers. The weak are not worthy of death by my claws.
Oh yeah. So he is by far the
I
like.
hunger for battle, for blood,
He still hungers for that.
for death.
Oh, a little bit of close up on the weapon. Just a little weapon inspect to lead us off here into the
Challenge
gameplay.
Makoa?
And the anchors, it's like a battle axe, dude.
This is Makoa, not just angry. He's like seeking revenge.
And yet still at peace.
like Shogun Lord Makoa.
Yeah. And so, what was the idea of this skin and its concept?
Well, we knew he wouldn't be a stealthy ninja for us, so we really wanted to
A little
play
too big to be stealthy, yeah.
We wanted to imagine
Sorry,
this
man.
sort of warlord version of Makoa. It's just awesome, totally threatening, intimidating, dominating character, and just make him as awesome as possible.
I mean, he's been one of the most popular characters in Paladins since its inception, since his release. It only seems right that he would be the one waiting at the top to be dethroned. So I think this like really fits with how he's played in the game and how his nature is. It's like, I'm here. Somebody's gonna have to take me out of here if you want. I don't need to challenge anybody.
All I'm saying is this skin plus the breakdancing emote from the last event creates like a Beyblade of death.
Yep.
Okay, that's not bad. That event's still going, right? To be able to
Pick it up.
Pick it up.
up.
You got to be able to break dance. And as you see, just swinging away, just a beautiful kind of adjustment. This is skin 1, so is this at any position in the battle pass?
Yeah, this is the first one.
The
This
first
is the first one
skin.
you're
So
gonna
this is the
unlock.
first skin.
It's actually pretty early too.
Wow.
Plus the fact that you're gonna be unlocking it quicker, you're gonna have this bad boy pretty fast
In no time.
after you buy that bundle.
All right, well, we got another one, and this is the Alyssa cosplay in game. The Dragon
Wow.
Caller Cassie is coming out, and oh boy,
Look at that hair.
Yep.
Look at it.
Shout out to April.
I didn't
Splash art
expect
here.
that.
I
Maybe
love
it's
this
glorious.
skin.
Well, let's take a listen to the voice pack for the Dragon Caller Cassie, this beautiful skin in the battle
Those who
pass.
have a warped mind, a mind of discord, have been defeated from the beginning. Everyone has a spirit that can be refined, a body that can be trained, a suitable path to follow. Well, maybe not everyone. Failure is the key to success.
Ooh.
Each mistake teaches us something.
Ziggs, where you
Among
go?
all the snakes, there is none comparable to a dragon. The skill of a warrior is the art of winning. Come, Ziggs, we are needed. Smile, breathe, and go slowly.
Those faces just looking at you, man.
With the tongue spit like out. That is crazy.
And
What a
Chris
cool
is
skin.
over there giggling about chat, so I guess you guys like it as much as we do.
Whenever Chris is giggling, we find something that has to be happening.
I'm sure it's a good one.
the little Ziggs dragon is
I
so
know,
good.
he's like a little baby of
wanna
the
pet him.
mount species.
I'm sorry, when you guys were thinking how cute he was, Thunderbrush had whispered that Ziggs got eaten. So what's the story? Is it
Just
a cute
saying.
Ziggs that turned into a dragon, or did that dragon eat Ziggs?
What?
I don't know.
Because I gotta know. This is, I mean,
don't know. Birds
wow.
don't normally turn into dragons.
That's my kind of rule I go by in life. But I mean, this is the realm.
This is a dangerous new land we're in with these new characters.
Blast Shot looks awesome. What a great showcase of the skills and the blue effects. That's obviously the Scout, the ultimate from her, still glowing, and Ziggs goes out and maybe eats some more birds or whatever this dragon is.
Did I
that
mention the
eats Ziggs.
hair? The hair is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic on that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't notice.
It is glorious.
It's kind of short, right?
Very long.
It's very short. Very long, actually. Yeah, no, the hair was great. I can't really call it an Alyssa cosplay now.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Is
I
this
guess I'll
in-
just have to go white.
Is this a list of something you may cosplay in the
Oh, I'd
future?
love to. This is one of my favorite skins for Cassie, just because it's so different than her usual look.
Yeah,
So.
it really is. It's a change in character, and obviously this is the second skin in the Battle Pass, and now we're on for the Lord himself, the Shadow Lord, so to speak. Shadow Lord Maldamba.
Yeah.
Oh boy, coming into the realm in 1.3 with the Battle Pass.
Step into my dojo.
And now we
Your blade is somehow even duller than your wit. What is the purpose of the strong if not to rule the weak? I can kill you in one strike or 1,000. The choice is yours. Back in my day, we killed men with our bare hands, not with fancy guns. My blades thirst for blood. Purpose is for the strong, servitude for the weak. This armor trains its user in perfect balance. Stumbling leaves a nasty cut.
He's very serious. He's a serious boy.
He seems like he's, got a lot.
He probably lords over a clan of assassins, right?
Exactly.
So he can't really have time to be humorous.
A lot of responsibility.
Like, vacations seldom happen for this dude.
We're really not taking a lot of time off.
Lots of assassinations.
Yeah,
That's all we're saying.
absolutely.
This is the ultimate reward from this battle pass. This is the very last skin you unlock.
Well, I mean, it's a healer, so I think that's a great encouragement for people to pick a support in their
Careful.
teams.
You're gonna cut yourself on that weapon inspect because the snake has an axe on its nose.
And Thunderbrush, going again, this seems like everybody's following this kind of Shogun. I don't know if that's the right word. You're you know that better than me, but tell me what style this is again. Kind of alluding to.
Again, we kind of were envisioning this sort of fantasy version of this sort of ninja influence kind of shadow war clan area of the world that these characters would be inhabiting, and he would sit near the tippy top of a stealthy clan of assassins.
He certainly would. I mean, the incorporeal kind of immunity slither that he's got there would definitely do the trick. Yep. And when you look at this. I mean, is it like the gourd? That's amazing. So awesome. That reminds me of the Abyss because it's the Shadow Lord. Yep. So this reminds me of like Abyssal Lord Jorgos, and that is it kind of playing off that theme a little bit?
Yeah, the Abyss can infect anything in the realm. It kind of exists a step removed, if you will.
Spoilers.
When are we gonna see a skin or a champion of like a person who thinks that they're sane and like them? But we get like a little hint and like an ability or like a cosmetic feature or a skin or something that they're like being controlled by the Abyss, but like they don't know it.
Or maybe entirely controlled.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows what could happen?
Sounds like a great story if I ever could think of one. So all this coming into the Battle Pass, that was the last skin, and you guys know what's coming next. So let's just get a couple of details out of the way. If you want to be involved in this and you want to purchase this, what is the price for people who are looking to get their hands on this in 1.3?
So this Battle Pass is 600 crystals. It has more content and more unlocks than our last Battle Pass. But in addition, you also have the opportunity to unlock 50 additional crystals. So you're going to be unlocking 150 crystals total. So really at the end, it's only like 450 crystals for all this content.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's even cheaper pretty much than the one we did before, and it's got more content.
For more content.
Easier to do.
Yeah.
That's right. And also something to mention is that if you've purchased the first Battle Pass and this one's coming in, you're like, oh, I want this too. Like, man, I'm just going to buy the season pass. We're going to refund you your former crystal purchase for Battle Pass 1. Or if you buy Battle Pass 2 with crystals and then buy the season pass, we'll refund you for that as well.
Wow.
So if you want that full package in the season pass, feel free.
Wow. Well, that's the Battle Pass, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that means you all know what's coming next. It's been a long time since he's been home, apparently. If you saw the lore video over the last couple of days, it's somebody who has obviously got a lot of talking still to do with some of his former masters, such as Zen, and a lot of unfinished business in the realm. Of course, who else could I be talking about? It's the one, the only, the lost hand, Koga.
How long was it since Koga last climbed these walls? How long since he last stood among the 1,000 hands? This was not how Koga thought he would return to his family. But family doesn't try to kill you. Family doesn't brand you a betrayer. No longer would he wait. Koga would face his former master, and Zin would pay. The 1,000 Hands would never forget the day Koga left. But the day he returned would be far worse.
Koga's Revenge here in 1.3, and of course to help lead us into the discussion about the new champion in Paladins, I have Charles here, who was the lead designer as far as bringing Koga into a concept, into reality in the game. Charles, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. It's a Thursday. It's almost the weekend.
Almost the weekend, which means you want to get out of here?
Oh, no.
He wants to play
sorry,
BTS.
no, I didn't mean to. No.
He wants to play BTS.
Yeah, he only wants to play BTS. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. You put a lot of work into Koga, and before we get into it, Thunderbrush, I obviously want to get your ideas about, how this art concept of this new champion came into light. But Charles, what was the gameplay decision around? This is the champion we want. This is the playstyle we want to introduce to Paladins. What can people expect when they play Koga?
So what people can expect from the Koga is he's probably going to be he's our new high mobility, high vertical mobility, hyper aggression flank, who's going to have a lot of potential to just sort of like turn the tides of battle in his team's favor. But we want to maybe require a little bit of finesse, maybe a little bit of training before you can actually bring out that full potential.
So as we take a look at his card art as well, Thunderbrush, maybe you could walk us through just the style that you chose and why you chose it for him.
Well, when the team started working on him, we knew we wanted a ninja archetype, but the goal, as always, is to make a ninja our own for Paladins. And, I mean, what's cooler than the ninja with a couple of guns and awesome claws, really?
That is true. I'm really excited to see how those claws and those guns work together as far as Koga's champion. Let's actually take a listen to Koga's voice lines and see if we can discern a little bit more about the character of this new flank.
Will I find a worthy opponent? The anticipation's killing me. Live your life on the edge, and you'll become sharper than any blade. You ever hear the one about the stealthiest ninja in the realm? Me neither. I may not know what you're up to, but I know it'll end in bodies. Jeez, training dummies put up more of a fight than you. Play by their rules, and you're just a pawn in their game. Funny thing about starting at the bottom, you've got nowhere else to go but up. Lesson 1, always strike first. Lesson 2, use every tool to your advantage. That was a nice warm-up. Is it just me, or are they really bad at this?
Beautiful look here at Koga's weapons, and you can see the claws as well coming through. And we are going to transition into talking about Koga now as we see him in game on the brand new Crimson Serpent mount. What an image there. That's something that could be carved into stone and sit outside some important building in the realm. As we talk about, you know, his style, Charles, this champion brings two unique kind of things to his playstyle that you don't find in a lot of other champions, and that's the wall climbing ability that he brings, and also the fact that his whole kit is circulated around a resource that you see right there in the middle of his screen.
That's right. So I guess we can just start it off with the wall climb ability. This is something that he's just got on as a passive. Koga can pretty much just any sort of like vertical flat space. He can just hold down spacebar or jump and walking into it and just start climbing.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it opens up so many flank routes for him. He can just sort of like come out of nowhere. It's also a really cheeky way to like just sort of avoid enemies. Like you're trying to escape them, you run through a doorway, you just start climbing a wall. They're like, "Where'd he go?"
Is he climbing with his feet?
Ninja magic.
Okay, Thunderbrush, you're gonna have to give me another answer to that, because that just is.
Yes, he is wall running, quite literally.
He's got those beautiful, just like kind of, what is it called? Just splashes of what it feels like the ninja magic you're describing every time he touches a surface. So what he's holding in his hand as well, Charles, the submachine guns. What was the choice? And obviously a very specific style, Thunderbrush, of bringing submachine guns into this ninja's kit.
Well, I'm sure like anyone who's played like a lot of modern shooters, the sort of dual SMGs is this sort of very fun, very hyper-aggressive playstyle.
Right?
Yes, and we really wanted to bring that in for this character, and I think like our team did an amazing job just like getting the feel for it to just like be this bullet hose of death that just rains down shells.
I mean, Thunderbrush, my favorite thing is the way that the bullets fall out of the gun.
We, working with the weapons lead, Adam, on this, we both agreed early on. These things had to feel like twin bullet hoses. That was just mandated completely right out of the gate. And ultimately, we wanted to take a kind of an archetypical SMG and really just make it our own. And something that feels like it could have been crafted in this kind of ethereal ninja realm of war.
Well, speaking of ethereal, I think this is an important thing to look at as we see the guns. They're, I think, 40 damage every 0.06 seconds. So that's the DPS if you guys want to go and find that out yourselves. I don't have a calculator right now.
I think it's about 1,300 or
1,300 or so. So pretty high, actually, as far as if you're hitting every single shot. And that's, you know, if you hit some headshots, it could definitely take somebody down. But let's talk about that ethereal, incorporeal kind of nature of his alternate fire. We haven't seen that yet, but it will be coming up, the Shadow Step.
That's right. So it was just there on the screen. It is his sort of, it's a burst movement invulnerability period where he can pretty much, he becomes untargetable, he phases through enemies. It allows for a lot of like quick movement in a duel. It allows you to sort of avoid big telegraphed attacks. It's also works wonderfully with the wall climb because it has like no grav on it. It doesn't have vertical component to it, but it does lock you into the
So no
horizontal
gravity.
That's right, no gravity. So you can basically like jump to wall climb up to a really high place and then use this to like fly across the map and just like pop down behind someone.
Yeah, wow, and you can use
Oh
it
my
multiple
God,
times. So
that's
that's
so
the
cool.
key of the energy resource. You can actually spend all of your resources and say, I just want a shadow step
Just keep
3
going.
times right now.
That's right. Koga is our first champ with 0 cooldowns. He has. You're not going to be able to buy Cronus on this guy. He everything he
Oh, you
does.
can't- yeah, that's right.
Yep. Everything he does is tied to this resource system that if you take a look on the screen, you'll see like these 3 bars filling up. It works very similarly to Strix and Terminus's resource systems, which are tied to like singular abilities, but now it's all tied to 1 for Koga. It just it allows for so much dynamic play because you can pretty much just choose whatever ability you think is appropriate for the situation. You
And
know?
it's really cool because you talked about maybe being a vertical mobility. Whenever I see that, I think high skill cap. And I think that to be a good ninja, you have to obviously put in the time, the hours. And we're going to see players who maximize every single option, which there's a variety of here, better than others based on the amount of time they spend on Koga. So it's really a champion with a lot of depth that you can, find, giving you endless hours of play that still is always improving your potentiality. To
with
succeed.
Koga, we really wanted to fulfill the fantasy of being a ninja. And so that's going to require a lot of training, right? You
Absolutely.
don't just wake up a ninja.
Yeah.
But I think it's really fun to mess around with his ability can become more skilled as you play.
Yeah.
That's a great book. Wake Up a Ninja. I woke up a ninja.
Well, you don't wake
And
up
just
a
your
master
life,
ninja.
you're like a 9 to 5 working just like a grocery store, and all of a sudden you're like a ninja.
What a
And
dream.
Better
It's
get
like,
that
wow,
copyrighted,
what is
man.
your life? What happens to your life at that point?
Yeah.
That's a cool, superhero story.
There,
Kind of
you got that, viewers. We'll give you that one.
Yeah. I Woke Up a Ninja by Evan Rayner. Okay, Dragon Stance here is his second. Actually, Agility is his second ability that we want to talk about before we get into the stance switch, which is coming up. But Agility, talk to us about what this is.
So agility, this is also his more like engagement-focused tool. It consumes one sort of unit, 1 bar of the energy, and it's pretty simple. It's you move 50% faster for 4 seconds. You gain an increased jump height during this time. You can continue to fire in this. Nothing is going to interrupt this outside of like a cripple.
So unlike Prowl on Mave, which is kind of similar, but you can actually still use all your abilities.
Pretty much, yeah. It's great for closing the gaps on like a more offensive tool. It's not great if you're like in a pinch because you're moving a little bit faster, but you're going to die in 1 hit anyway. So that's when you really want to use the Shadow Step.
Now it does look like it gives you like invulnerability. It looks like you're kind of like special, but you're not. You still take the same amount of damage.
That's right. You're still normal. You're still a fragile ninja while running around fast.
Whereas Shadow Step, you are completely immune during that.
That's
correct?
right. It's much more defensive oriented.
So
skill.
you're CC immune as well. So somebody like King Bomb coming up or Terminus Reanimate, you could just Shadow Step through it.
Exactly.
And you don't get hurt. You don't get pulled on a Ceres
You could
pull.
Shadow Step. You could mistime it, Shadow Step twice, and still be fine.
Well, that is going to be very, very good. I tell you what, at high levels as well. And Agility, what we were talking about, the only thing that could stop it is like a cripple coming through, like a Grover axe, basically stopping that. But if you get stunned and you have like Resilience 3, you'll just pop right back, and you'll still have your Agility for the remaining 4 seconds. It's 50% faster, and it consumes 1 unit of energy. Now, we are close to talking about, and I want to preface this, so we should start talking about it now, the Dragon Stance. This is his stance switching ability, and what was kind of the concept around this, both gameplay-wise, what you were looking for, and then art-wise in terms of how you went about showing it visually?
I think gameplay was actually kind of a little bit influenced by the art at this point because the ninja is such a cool concept, but ninjas and guns, like you also kind of want to be a badass ninja with these sort of cool like oriental weapons, these sort of non-traditional weapons, and the Dragon Stance was sort of like our answer to that. Basically, gameplay, the SMG stance, he sort of is a very high DPS character with a dueling skill on the alt fire. But when he goes into Dragon Stance, he ditches those guns, brings out those like awesome ass burning claws of energy, and he becomes way more aggro and way more burst oriented.
It reminds me a little bit of Zen.
It does.
So
It does.
what is up with that? Is that catering to his lore a little bit?
Absolutely intentional. So we wanted Koga to feel as if, because he was trained under Zen, so some similarity there is very important, as well as one of the kind of objectives we had, at least with art, was fulfilling the ninja sort of archetype fantasy of getting something that was melee-like involved in the kit, at least visually early on. And the claws really felt just like a natural fit.
So when you get into the dragon stance, you use 1 bar of your resource, right? So then
not quite. It does require 1 bar to get into dragon stance, but if you see from there, it's not actually consuming it all in one chunk. It is consuming it over time. So there is the claws are definitely the badass, crazy offense mode, but there is a time limit on it.
Gotcha.
As far as like how there's a time limit on it now. There might be a talent that might override that.
So there is a basically at whatever moment of energy you're at, you start using the Hellkite claws, and you just start slowly degenerating that energy. Correct?
Pretty much, yeah. The instance you bring out the claws, you are starting to consume those energies. So you can really only bring them out either in the middle of a fight, or if you know you're about to get the drop on someone, or if you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to go from like 3 bars and just take my time.
Right. Okay, so now these do 600 damage every 0.55 seconds. They're only usable while in the dragon stance, excuse me. And then you go default back to your SMGs. There's also a change to your right click as well, your alternate fire, or on console, whatever that is. I apologize, I'm not playing console very often. But it's called Skewer. Now, what does Skewer do? And it seems like that's going to cost a lot to actually go into Hellkite Claws and use Skewer and have any resource left.
That's right. On his SMG stance, his alt fire is a very defensive-oriented duelist sort of immunity burst movement. Skewer in the dragon stance is very offensive-oriented. He basically gets into position, just like charges up and dashes forward in whatever direction he's looking at. So it does have vertical component to it. Very, very far distance. Like this is something like, if I remember correctly, on Ascension Peak, you know, like the main capture point, those windows at the very top, you could skewer from the ground up to those windows and then fall all the way back down.
Wow.
And it's great for adding like extra burst to his potential in the dragon stance. Within just a second, you could deal up to like 2 claw slashes and a skewer within 1 second, and that's like 1,800 damage right there.
Wow. And it does seem like the vertical mobility, the way that this dash is kind of shown visually, is that this is the stellar move, the one you're not going to see very often, but the one that should be used to make a big play.
Yeah, it's quite a flourish.
It does. Like you said, it is something that people are not going to see very often because you can't really use it back to back.
Exactly.
Back to back. It actually will consume all of your remaining energy when you try to use this.
Totally worth it, by the way.
Well, you know what seems is like you can walk. Sometimes you're not going to be able to wall climb up and then dash horizontally to get out of a situation. So I feel like this is going to be either I have literally 600 more damage to finish somebody off before they get away, or I need to get over this wall. I don't have time to wall climb, and I need to just use all my resources because then I'll be in a safe place.
That's right.
So it's kind of like your get out of jail card that you really don't want to use until you really need to get out of a bad spot. But you said there are some talents that might adjust that, so that could be interesting as we get into that. But we still have his ultimate to talk out, and that's the Cyclone Strike. Explain to me, what is this Cyclone Strike? And why are ninjas Cyclone Strike? When did cyclones and ninjas become like buddies?
Well, it's just this awesome move, really. I mean, it's a ninja.
Awesome plus awesome.
Awesome plus awesome.
Okay, I got you.
We just wanted to give Koga, at least from the visual angle, an ultimate that felt like it played more into the melee aspect, or the melee fantasy of being a ninja and being able to slice through a whole group of enemies in the blink of an eye before anyone even knows what's going on.
And so, you know, gameplay-wise, Charles, this is what, a big AoE?
Yeah, so Koga, when he initiates this ability, becomes damage immune, and he sort of does a nice big charge up, and he'll have this big tail on the ground, and once that charge up is done, he will start just like moving like speed of light almost. Like you can't even see him slashing up anyone within this area.
Oh my God.
What?
Yep.
Ninja magic.
What does that, what just happened? Can we get a slow-mo replay on that?
You might need to, yeah. He's dealing about 150 damage every 0.1 second to everyone who's inside that field. That's for 2 seconds, so that's about potentially up to 3,000 damage per person.
Wow.
And he can't be hit while he's in it, so it's it can feel pretty strong. It's absolutely great for breaking up death balls and strong objective fights, which is something that Koga doesn't normally have like access to as like such an assassin.
Kevin put it
character.
slow-mo. He really did.
There you go.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Oh
Here's where
my
all the
gosh.
Cassies in the land
Esther and the animation
were
team
no
really brought it to
longer.
life.
Yeah, what a beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just dashing forward and back.
Feels
It's
so
so
awesome.
cool. And that's an emo, right? That's not how he finishes everything.
No, that's just
I was gonna say.
one of his cool emotes.
And the penalty is he stands still for about 5 seconds afterwards.
He has to emote.
You designers and your give and take, get out of here.
Yeah, the penalty is really more in the forward cost where he has to do that charge up. It does give people with, characters with movement abilities enough
Right.
time to really kind of get out. They won't get hit that much by it. Tanks, on the other hand, which are a bit slower, probably don't have access to movement abilities as
Right.
often, are probably going to eat the bulk of that damage.
And so, how do shields interact with that? Can you be behind a shield? And
You cannot. This
cannot.
this is kind of our melee strike ability. It is going to go through shields and slice you up.
This is a great end of the point 99 type of situation because you stand on the entire point. It's just 3,000 damage and you can't get hit. You could also shadow step invulnerably, basically, into that situation, so you don't take damage getting there. Then you don't take damage while you're there. That's a real big fight turner, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, huge.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Huge.
that's pretty awesome. And Alyssa, I know that vertical mobility, you probably hear that word more so than anybody else.
Mobility.
When you're going through Reddit and the community feedback. How do you think people are going to take the idea of now a new champion that adds that skill component and that those
I think
options?
Koga is going to be really, really well received, just because he has a lot of the features that players have been asking for a while. But like we said, I mean, he's really deadly in the hands of a skilled player. But I think it takes a lot of time to really be able to master his abilities.
It's very, very easy to overextend with Koga because
Exactly.
he has the option to sort of like extend his effectiveness window, but then that's at the cost of his escape. A lot of other characters that are flanks, like, Buck, you can't really use your heal to necessarily deal more damage, but Koga could essentially like use the cooldown for one of his more defensive-oriented talents to deal damage and then just end up overextending and dying.
You could see he's got in this gameplay just when Kevin is poking people and then using the Hellkite claws. The Hellkite claws to actually finish them off with quite a bit of burst. I mean, Zen swinging for 400, he's swinging for 600 in that, so it's very effective of getting large chunks of health down before they can react.
He's got to show Zen that he's better.
Yeah, basically.
He worked so hard. Now he's come back with 200 more damage per slash.
He's been lifting.
So let's talk about the talents because this is really how we, define Paladins. I think a lot of the gameplay is based on what talent you choose. His first talent, called Adrenaline Junkie. Dealing damage with your submachine guns restores your energy.
This is definitely a little bit more of a great way to just sort of like intro the character. Basically, so long as you're staying aggressive, so long as you're staying in the fight, dealing damage, you're going to bring back your energy that you're going to need to like just use your abilities. I think it'll be great for onboarding a lot of new players because the stamina, the energy system is definitely going to be probably one of the more like tricky things to wrap your head around. And this is just a great way to just sort of get used to it and to make a little bit of mistakes with it and not be super hyper punished by it.
Super cool. That's a nice beginner one. Now let's talk about the second one, Blood Reaper. Skewer deals up to 400 bonus damage based on the amount of energy it consumed. Walk me through that. How does that actually work?
So what this does is it pretty much just Skewer by default will consume all of your energy. But what this talent does is, well, how much you consumed will add on a bonus damage to it. And what this overall, like mathematically over like a long period of time, is not like numerically better than just like doing another Hellkite Claw slash at them. But it is really, really good for increasing his 1 second burst potential.
Right.
Because now it goes from, you can do a slash, and then cancel into a skewer with the bonus damage on the extra talent, bumps you up to about 2,200 damage in a single second.
I think you had it right first, 2,200 dead. That's basically how it goes. I think for any champion in that realm that he's going to be fighting, unless it's a tank, right? So that seems really effective.
Yeah, it's the pure assassin skill.
And we know that high skill cap players and high level players love burst. So this is you guys are like really catering to it all here.
Koga feels like an action game channeled into a champion. Really.
I got to get used to saying Hellkite claws because I'm going to have to say that a lot in my life, I know. So his level 8 talent, is called Master of Arms. It hits with your submachine gun, cost no ammo.
That's right.
Wow.
This is basically the bullet hose build.
Okay.
We just sort of
get that.
What aspects of him are fun? The claws are fun, the skewer's fun, the stamina system's interesting, energy system. And of course, the SMGs are just a blast to just like unload all those bullets. And we're like, I wish this never ended. Let's just make that. Let's just make that a talent.
The ultimate fantasy.
Yeah.
And then this last one that actually is so wild. And this is actually, I mean, that's gonna be very good. The no ammo one. That's gonna be really, really good.
It's great for tank shredding.
The Dragon Fangs. Wow, what a give and take here. Hellkite Claws no longer consume energy and instead consume 200 health per second.
That's right. So this is kind of your I am a dedicated claw guy. I don't care about guns. I just want to
claw.
I just want to claw people to death all day long. And we've sort of like shifted that cost away from this like hard time limit on the energy system to a more malleable time limit on your health.
Right.
So you can't keep these out forever still.
Right.
But if you build into Life Rip, there are some cards that help with that. If you got a decent pocket healer, a Genos works wonderfully with this
You're
build.
right.
You can pretty much claw all day long, and it is really, really freaky to go against.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what is that? What is he hitting for? Just budget math here. 690 per slash now when he has a Genos on him with the Luminary. So you're getting 150, 200 health per second back from him and his heal, and then he's hitting for...
That's like, what, 1,300, 1,400 on burst, which is...
That's nutty. That's good. Okay, I like it. I like it. You've sold me. Let's talk about his recolor, too, because he does enter the realm with a recolor option. And it is looking like all white here, like he's going to Wimbledon. And I actually do appreciate the variance here. It's a very different look.
Yeah, we really wanted to maximize the separation from his base, especially being able to kind of pull the mask off to get some good appreciation of who he is underneath.
Absolutely.
And like the other recolors, this one has a gold and crystal price.
Oh, great. Okay, so available for if you want to throw some gold in there or you want to use your crystals.
No.
But here we go. We have a mastery skin as well for Koga. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
The black and gold.
Black and gold.
Black and gold.
I just love that the mask is all gold, too.
Oh, yeah. This is a rich ninja.
Yeah, this is the version of Koga's life where he invested in some stocks in it. I love it. I love it. Well, there's so many great things. We've also got an MVP pose coming in, and I think this is one of the different MVP poses where it's actually an animated MVP pose. So he's not just gonna stay in one position. He's actually gonna move a little bit.
And this one is available in the Battle Pass.
Oh, great. All right, so you have a chance to also, with the Battle Pass we talked about earlier, unlock this one. New, unique MVP pose for the new, unique MVP champion coming into the realm. That is Koga. Make sure to check him out in 1.3, the update coming soon, and we'll talk about PTS in just a second. But before that, we do have Community with Alyssa, and talk to us about what's going on in the community right now.
Yeah, so this weekend we have a double Battle Pass XP event. It is your last chance to level up your Battle Pass and get all of those level up rewards, so you guys are going to be able to earn double XP Friday through Sunday.
And if you play also, remember the ranked thing too, because if you play 10 games and you haven't played ranked before, you get your gold chest. And then you could double up next time when the new Battle Pass comes out and get another gold chest. So a lot of great opportunities for that as well. As far as the release schedule for PTS, I don't have Garrett here, but I have Alyssa. Talk to us about how this PTS is going to be launched and when.
So PTS is going to go live tonight, right?
Yeah.
Chris says yeah.
Cheers!
Tonight. If it doesn't go live tonight, tweet him, not me.
It's over now. It's got to go live.
Yep. And then the release schedule as well. So we're going to release next Wednesday on PC and PS4, and then we're going to release the 25th on Xbox One and Switch. Our goal is definitely to get all of the releases consecutive across all platforms. So we're really, really, really sorry that we weren't able to do it for this time, but we're still just working out with the console publishers, getting it through cert in time. But we will be running a Crystal Storm on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch next weekend to make up for it and kind of apologize. We're really, really sorry, but we're going to try our best going forward. That is still our goal to make sure that we release consecutively. But PC and PS4 will get it next Wednesday.
Super cool. And there will definitely be some people playing Koga tonight, checking him out tonight. So make sure to stay tuned. Check him out yourself on the PTS. There will be instructions for that on forums.paladins.com. The update notes are live right now for 1.3, so make sure to check those out. Read all the bug fixes and the balance notes unless you caught them on the show. And thank you so much to everybody who's been involved, all our producers, all of the high-res members over there who've been helping out tirelessly. Chris, Kevin, obviously Garrett, Alex Canatori, Gabby on the show as well, Charles, Thunderbrush, and Alyssa. I'm Rain Day. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.